Israel is upset at the UN resolution. Today, the United Nations passed a resolution demanding the immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The Security Council voted 14-0 in favor of the resolution, with the United States abstaining from voting. The resolution, presented by the Security Council's 10 non-permanent members, calls for an immediate ceasefire for the month of Ramadan, immediate and unconditional release of hostages, and the, quote, urgent need to expand the flow of aid into Gaza. Now, this is the first time the council called for a ceasefire, as the previous ceasefire resolutions were blocked by who? The United States. Now, in response to the United States not blocking the resolution, Israel has gotten upset. Now, again, let's be clear. The United States did not block the resolution. The U.S. did not vote for the resolution. The U.S. simply abstained from voting for the resolution. And Israel has now gotten mad, and they have canceled their meetings with officials in Washington. And according to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the United States is, quote, retreating from a principled position. So this is fascinating for multiple reasons. First, the United States has taken a position that's not in the interests of Israel. But even when taking a position that's not in the interests of Israel, the best the United States could do was abstain. We saw this under the Obama administration about settlement expansion the same way. You know, the U.S. still didn't vote against Israel. They just said, we won't vote. But what Israel depends on is the U.S. to use its status as a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council to veto it. Because you see, if a permanent member vetoes something, the U.S., the U.K., was it France? Is it China? Is it Russia? When they veto something, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. That's it. When the permanent members veto a resolution, it's over. So no matter what the world does, if the U.S. or the U.K. or France, but usually it's the U.S. That often is in the front of the line, when they stand up and say, "Hey, no, we're vetoing this," it's it. And so Israel's been shielded by the U.S. Today, the U.S. said, "We are not shielding you." Now, that's as close to a rebuke of Israeli policy as the U.S. is going to offer. And they still didn't vote. No, they just abstained. And yet Israel is still saying that the U.S. has retreated from a principled position. And all this resolution did was have a temporary ceasefire during the month of Ramadan. We only got 2 weeks. That doesn't make Palestinians safer. It allows Israel to retool. It allows them to get their hostages out and then devastate the Gaza Strip. I'm not even sure that a temporary ceasefire is a good thing. That's even in the interest of the Palestinian people, ultimately. But it does give them some relief in the moment, and that is good. It does stop people from dying tomorrow, which is good. But for all that to happen, here's another thing. Israel has to listen. Israel has to make a decision that it is going to follow the words and follow the advice and follow the order of the Security Council. And it doesn't look like they are. They've made it very clear that they're not going to listen to anybody, including the United States. So even with this resolution, there's no cause for real optimism. But as we are 2 weeks out, 2 weeks out of Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of the month of Ramadan, this resolution is thin no matter how it plays out. But still, Israel's mad, and the U.S. was cowardly. But what else is new?